right, I think that we are live. So I just want to thank you so much for signing up for my workshop today, the It's Not You, It's Your Diet workshop. My name is Catherine Basu. I'm an ACE certified fitness professional, so I am certified in personal training and a variety of group fitness classes, and I am so excited to have you here so I can share my best tips with you that are going to help you learn why diets don't work, what you should be doing instead, and then I'm going to actually walk you through some free resources that can help you set up your own healthy weight loss plan that's going to get you to where you want to be without causing you to have any issues in the long run. So we'll talk all about that as we go through the workshop. Just since we're getting started, I'm going to have you tell me where you're calling in from, or I guess watching from, since we're not on the phone. And I'm going to go check and make sure that everyone's all set up. So sometimes it takes a minute or two delay between where I press start broadcast and you guys actually see me. So I'm just going to go over there, check on my dashboard, make sure you're all here, and then we'll get started. I'm going to try to keep everything very succinct today. And if you stay on live, you'll get a handout. Your free gift is going to be a handout with all the notes, so you don't have to go back and watch the whole workshop again in order to go through the tips I'm going to share with you, or if you have to walk away, you'll get that worksheet. And also at the end, I'm going to do a giveaway I'm going to be giving away today actually a free 1-week custom meal plan and also a free digital kitchen scale. So both really great tools for you if you're starting your fitness journey and weight loss journey. So stick around if you can. I'm going to go, like I said, make sure everyone's on, make sure that I'm not seeing any comments that say that there's an issue, and then we'll get started for real. So get excited, and as you go through, you can always type in your questions. There should be a question box for you. So I'll come back. I'm going to be sharing some slides. I'll come back and forth so that you can, ask some questions, and I'll answer them as we go through our workshop. So welcome, and let me go check on everyone. I'll leave this up so that as we're going through, I can see, but I'm gonna quickly just make sure that we're on. So if you are on, I do see that I have viewers, but sometimes that doesn't mean that you're seeing me. So I'm gonna go and check to make sure. So if you're on and you wanna just type in that you're seeing me right now, that's what you should be seeing, and then we'll kind of go from there. Let's see. Take a second or two here. So I know I have a few viewers on, at least through my video software. It says people can see me, but I'm just checking right now to make sure that you actually can see me. So if you can, just type in that you can see me, okay, and then we'll get started from there. I'm going to go through a little PowerPoint presentation for you, and then we'll answer some questions at the end. But yeah, just make sure that you can see me, okay. So I'll wait another minute or so, and then I'll assume that either because sometimes people have everything queued up and then we're not really you guys might not actually see. Okay, cool. So at least I have Shannon, and I'm assuming, Shannon, you can see me in your office, but I appreciate you watching from your office. That's awesome. Okay, great. So I got at least one, right? Okay, so welcome everyone. If you're new to me, I'm not gonna go through a whole spiel about my business, at least for this workshop, just because I want to get us started, and I know some of us are on our lunch break, so I want to make sure we keep things really short and concise. But basically, my name is Catherine. I am the owner of Fit Armadillo, the fitness company that helps you enjoy fitness at your place and your pace. And I recently got some software that helps me do live workshops, so I've been trying to take advantage of that. Last week, I ran this workshop about how to ditch your diet and why you want to do that if you want to see long-term weight loss success, and it was a big hit, and so I wanted to run it again for you all. Oh gosh, I'm becoming a Texan. So basically, what inspired me, just I won't go into my business into detail, but what inspired me to share these tips with you today is I've kind of have heard from a lot of people lately that are trying different fad diets, even some of my own family members. So I have to chat with them. But I want to just educate, hopefully some of them have signed up and they're going to watch the replay, but also, my fans and clients that haven't heard my my spiel yet as to why you don't want to go on a diet. And if you have dieted in the past and you've lost a lot of weight, but then you gain back that weight, I want you to realize that that's not really your fault, unless, you have to be honest with yourself. If you were doing like really, really bad things, it could be your fault. But most of the time, if you feel like you were doing all the right things coming off your diet and you still gained weight, then we'll kind of go over why that could actually happen and why it wouldn't really be your fault today. And then I'm going to walk you through some resources that are free that you can use to customize your own healthy weight loss plan. So really kind of dive in there, kind of share with you my secrets and tips. And then, like I said, if you stay on the whole time, I'm going to be doing some giveaways, one for a digital kitchen scale to help you with your portion control, and one for a custom nutrition plan for me. So hopefully you'll get to stay on with me, and I'm going to go over into my slides here. So I'm going to just check back and just make sure there's no issues. I'm not always the best with technology, and I've had some issues before. So I always want to make sure. Okay, good. People can see me. Awesome. So I'm going to pull up my slides. If you guys have questions while I'm pulling up my slides, just let me know, and we can get into that as well. So let's find the slides here. Aren't they coming up? And sometimes it's a little slow. All right. So unfortunately, I can't show you guys my slides in full view because it starts to get a little bit, for some reason it will block you out, but we'll go over that here. Okay, so let's get into it. Hopefully we have everyone on now. And I'm gonna tab over here. Here's our diet workshop. Awesome, okay. All right, so here's kind of our outline for what we're gonna go over today. First, I'm gonna talk to you about the problem with diets. Like, why am I saying that it's not you, it's your diet that's the problem? Tell you what to do instead, and then I'm gonna actually give you an example of a diet that someone I know is using right now, and have you try to tell me what's wrong with the diet. So, kind of check to see if you've learned my tricks so far. And then I'm going to help you personalize your own healthy weight loss program. So I'm going to share with you those free resources that I've used in the past, and help you get started. Nothing crazy. You're not going to have to go out and buy any crazy foods or anything like that. So that's our plan for today. All right. So, okay. So basically, I'm going to go over each of these in detail, and I'm going to stop myself from trying to get too excited and go into them all right now. But basically, all these things on the left are things that are problems that we see with diets. Different diets are going to have, maybe one or more of these as one of their problems. But all that's happening with the diet is that they're going to cause you to have decreased metabolism. So what you want to think of is, metabolism just means how much energy your body uses, right? So if you kind of think, if you're having trouble with that word, if you think about friends that you might say have really good metabolism, right? Their bodies are able to use food really quickly, and they're very skinny, but they're able to eat a lot of food. So we don't want to have the opposite. We don't want to have a decreased metabolism. We want to have a really good metabolism. We want to find ways to increase our metabolism, our energy burn, just during our daily activities. And the major thing that you want to get away from diets is that, whether they have one or three or all those things wrong with them on the left, their problem is that they're decreasing, lowering your metabolism. So after your diet, you're not able to burn as many calories at rest as you would be able to if you hadn't dieted or had done things a healthy way. So, this is like a very important slide here, right? This is the main summary of what we're going to learn. But diets, they're very tempting. I understand that, right? It's tempting to be able to lose a lot of weight in a short amount of time. But you want to make sure that you don't have to keep going on one diet after the other. It's not fun, and I want to help you realize, what to do instead. So that's why we're here today. Okay, so the first part, and I'm just make sure you guys can see everything here. Awesome. So the first thing I said was that one of the main issues is that diets are very low in calories. And down at the bottom there, I say, we'll give diets one thing, right? Portion control is very important. If you eat too many calories, you're going to gain weight. So I don't want you to think that, you know, you can just do whatever you want and lose weight and get where you want to be. We have to be realistic, right? But the problem with diets is that they have too few calories. So they're not giving your body enough fuel. You know, like I said up there, you should never get less than 1,200 calories a day if you're a woman, or 1,500 calories a day if you are a man. And if you do go below that, or if you've been on a diet that goes below that, what's going to happen is you're going to start to mess up your metabolism, and I'll get into that more in the next slide. But basically, again, just decreasing your metabolism, your body is going to shut down. Usually, really for the low calories, your body's just shutting down. You're not able to lose any more weight. If you've ever truly been on a diet where you've gone under those values, you probably can relate to the fact that you were still trying to, you know, eat healthy, you were having a few calories, but at some point you just hit this block where you weren't able to lose any more weight because your body was in that starvation mode trying to preserve what it had. So gotta watch that. Most diets that I've seen don't have you go below these values because that's a common known thing. But a lot of times where I see clients get into trouble if they come to me and they've had issues in the past is that they use some of those apps that you can get on your phone or online that are trackers. So you would be tracking your calories using them. And you know, trackers are a great thing because sometimes we don't really realize what we're eating throughout the day unless we track it. But what I want you to think about is that those trackers are for tracking. They shouldn't be the way that you're figuring out how many calories you need. It's very tempting to put into that tracker, I want to lose, you know, 50 pounds in 1 month, which hopefully you realize that's not realistic, right? And it can give you a value of what you should eat, but it's not going to be healthy. So, you know, most diets that I've seen don't go below those values, but so this is usually something that comes from you or, you know, like my clients, like I've said, using a tracker that they put in what they want to weigh, when they want to lose that weight by, and then they're getting this calorie value per day that's based on, you know, the math that the computer is doing, but not on healthy goals, right? So that's just my warning there. Low calories, usually that's something that you've done through a tracking device, like a tracking app or other thing like that. Most diets don't have that, but some do. Some are not very good for you, right? And so you want to watch that. That's the first warning sign, too few calories. So portion control is fine. That's a great place to start. If you don't want to be counting calories and you want to just do things very gradually, you're just trying to get, you know, healthy, that's amazing, and that's what you should be doing. So just start with portion control because that's where this is coming from. Just have less of the foods that you're having now, right? Okay. So next slide here, and this is where I'll get into a little bit more detail, is you're not having enough carbohydrates. So carbohydrates get a really bad name. The big one here that was popular is the Atkins diet, but I still see this a lot with different things my clients are, you know, using before I talk to them or see them. So the reason that, you know, this does come from again, all these things that are wrong with diets, they come from some truth down the line, and they've just been kind of, you know, most of them have been skewed to be beyond the truth and to not be healthy anymore. But it is true that some carbohydrates can cause you to be more at risk for developing all different types of diseases related to obesity. So things like getting diabetes, having heart disease, right? But what carbohydrates are those? Those are things like refined carbohydrates. So things you would get in prepackaged foods, cookies, crackers, all those foods that are prepackaged that aren't fresh foods. Those are the type of carbohydrates you want to really watch out for and not have a lot of. Now, there's other carbohydrates that are actually good for us that we should be eating, and we should be actually eating a decent amount of them. And those are things like fruits and vegetables. So some diets they often don't eliminate vegetables, but they usually eliminate fruits, at least for part of the time. And it's just not something that you need to do or really want to do, because those things are items that we need for many reasons. And I think I'll probably end up talking to this in a little bit more in a bit, but if I don't, I'll come back to it as well. But there's lots of reasons you want to have fruits and vegetables in your diet. So those, you want to think, if you're going to eat a carb, is it a good carb or a bad carb, right? Is it something that's packaged? you know what things are not good for you, right? If it comes in a package, if it has a lot of ingredients that you don't know what they are, a lot of sugars and salts in them, like that's not a good thing, right? But if you have something that's a fresh fruit or vegetable, that's a carbohydrate. It's just a type of fuel that our body uses, and that's something that our body actually really needs. So one thing that you'll find if you have friends that have gone on the Atkins diet or any of these other popular diets that are low carbs, one thing that happens is that they do lose weight pretty quickly. And so it can be very tempting if your friend is on a low carb diet to want to join them. And there's two reasons why this works, why this happens. And neither of them are good things, right? So yes, they're going to lose weight really quickly, but in the long run, it's not going to be good. And the first reason why eliminating carbs can cause fast weight loss, is because they cause your body to retain a little bit of water. So if you're not eating a lot of carbohydrates, or you're decreasing the amount of carbohydrates you're eating, you're very quickly going to lose water weight, right? So you're not really losing the fat, which is what you want to lose, but you're just losing water. Most of our bodies are made up of water. So, if you're on a diet that's very low carb, yes, you'll lose a lot of weight, but it's not, just water weight. It's not going to be long term. And if you're on that diet for too long, the other problem that can happen, it's a problem, but also a reason why you get that fast weight loss, is that without carbohydrates, the body starts to break down its own muscle tissue. Okay, so if you think about, you might have heard that muscle weighs more than fat. That's very true. So if we're breaking down our muscle, we're losing part of our muscle, part of our body tissue, but we're going to be losing part of the body that actually has decent weight to it. So both of these things, losing water weight and losing muscle tissue, are reasons that these diets, quote unquote, work. Reasons why you wouldn't want to try those diets, right? They're just causing you to lose water weight at first, and then they're starting to break down your muscle tissue. And muscle is what keeps your metabolism up. And so I always want to get into more detail, but you don't want to lose muscle tissue. You want to preserve that muscle tissue, and you don't want to be breaking it down by eliminating carbohydrates, right? So, and I can talk to you guys more about that if you want to know more about just the science of that, but it's my background's in biology, but that's just the basics. So, yes, so if you see people that are on these low carb diets and they're trying to get you to join them and given the peer pressure, just remember that yes, they do quote unquote work, and they do cause fast weight loss, but the reason is not for something that's going to cause a long-term solution, right? It's all back to just these quick things that are not a long-term solution and that are really going to cause more harm than good for your body, right? Okay. So another thing I talked about too was incomplete nutrition. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but basically, one common thing, not as much in diets I see nowadays because of Atkins, we kind of changed that around, but it could be low in fat. Again, not as common, but that's something. Not enough fruit, and then I put not enough of blank nutrient because it just is going to depend on the fad. So I'll talk to you about what a healthy, what complete nutrition looks like in a minute, but this is why diets aren't good. And most of us know, that diets are not healthy, but this is just one reason why they're not good for us. Oh goodness, my slide is huge. So you guys know I'm a personal trainer, so I am a little bit biased, and I'm going to talk to you about this slide here. No focus on exercise. I'm going to try not to go into this one into too much detail because I'll tell you what to do instead of dieting, and exercise will play a role. Basically, the one I want to address the most on this slide is this 80-20 rule. A lot of times I'll hear people say, oh, losing weight is 80% diet and 20% exercise. And if you hear that, you might not really want to exercise. And if you have a diet that doesn't require you to exercise, it might seem like a great thing. You're going to save time. But I don't really buy into that 80-20 rule. I think you have to consider both. So you can't, just exercising is not going to be the answer either. But one thing I always tell people to realize is that it's a lot easier to overeat than to over-exercise, right? So the nutrition is important because if you're really not doing it properly, if you don't know what to do, which, let's face it, it's hard to know what to do because there's a lot of misleading and conflicting information out there. So that can be really hard, and that takes a lot to learn what to do correctly in order to lose weight, in order to be healthy. But you can't, you really need to exercise as well. And there's a bunch of reasons here, right? I said it increases your metabolism. I'll talk to you about that a little bit more in more detail. It's going to help you lower stress. So even though, a lot of times we think about if you're stressed out, you're going to be gaining weight because you're stress eating. But that's not the only issue, right? We've actually found that when you're stressed out, the way your body physiologically responds to stress can cause you to gain weight. So you want to make sure that you're lowering your stress, and exercise is one of the best ways to do that. And it can be, from any type of exercise. From cardio is really good, but also if you get some yoga in, that can be really good. Get some meditation in, right? Exercise helps you improve your self-control. Pay attention to proper fuel. If you're going to eat something really crappy and then try to go work out, it might not lead to a very good workout. So once you have that awareness and you want to be fueling your body versus just grabbing a quick snack, it'll help you pay attention to that. And we'll talk about this more too, but it's going to help you burn more calories from fat at rest. So I think I talk about this more in another slide, but that's going to be really important as well. Okay. So exercise is really important. The problem with diets, why it's your diet, is there's usually not a focus on exercise. Okay, I'm going to move this up a little because I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Okay, why it's your diet. So a lot of times these diets will have special foods. You have to ask yourself, how are you going to actually eat in the real world, right? So these special foods are not good. A lot of them end up actually being processed foods. There's a lot of diets out there where they have these foods you have to buy. They end up adding things like sugar and salt to compensate for them being lower in fat, because if you cut out fat or reduce the fat in an item, you're going to automatically have fewer calories. So, yes, the less calories you eat, the easier you're going to start to lose weight, but you want to make sure you're eating the proper foods. So you can eat things like fruits and vegetables for less fat and less calories, and those are going to help fuel you better and make you feel better versus those products. So really be careful if you have these special foods that are things that they want you to eat. And like I said, a lot of the products are going to be processed foods, and that's what we said was the reason why these low carb diets became popular, is because processed foods, processed carbohydrates are the ones that can cause health issues. And a lot of these special diet foods fall into that category. So you have to be very careful with what they want you to buy. There's no focus on fresh foods. So here, that dietary fiber piece, getting fruits and vegetables into your diet they all are very high in fiber, and that helps with your digestion in general, but it also helps keep you full longer. So just gonna help you manage your weight a lot better. But if you don't have those because you're eating these packaged foods that they have you buy, it's not gonna be very good. Okay, and then also it's just really, you have to think about when you're buying these special foods, it's just a way for the diet company to make more money, right? So you want to be able to have a plan for eating in the real world, and that's what I'm going to help you figure out today. All right, and focus on control. I'm going to try to speed through my slides here so I can help you guys work through everything. When you're dieting, right, this is more like something that we do ourselves, not usually the diet is not the cause, but kind of the way we think about things when we're dieting is we're just focusing on control all the time, right? You have to eat certain things. After the diet, you feel really deprived. You don't really focus on yourself in the long term and taking care of yourself. So healthy eating is going to help you, and a healthy weight loss plan is going to help you focus on you, and that's what you want to really think about instead of what you can't do and just doing things for the short term for quick weight loss, right? So you want to make sure that the reason you're doing this is to focus on yourself and really taking care of yourself, not making yourself feel deprived, right? So just don't like these diets. Another thing, I have some clients who have told me this, that when I work with them, the biggest eye-opening thing that they learn from me is that the scale, you don't have to focus on the scale. Now the caveat here is it is good to try to weigh yourself once a week. Just make sure you're weighing yourself at the same time, wearing the same clothes, same day, right? Make sure it's as consistent as possible, but realize that your weight can fluctuate a lot from day to day. So that's why we want to try to do it just one day a week and try to look for those patterns over time. If you're a woman, your weight can fluctuate a lot from day to day and a lot from week to week, but your measurements can actually show results faster and more accurately. So taking measurements is really important. If you stay on, and you'll get the notes from this presentation, I have the measurements I would want you to take in order to figure out your body fat percentage and some other things. They can tell you a lot. You don't need to calculate your body fat percentage today, right, if you don't want to know that value. But if you take all those measurements, it can be really useful later on. Once you've lost all your weight, you can say, wow, like not only did I lose this weight, but I've also lost this much body fat. And it's just a lot, you know, a really good way to have a different thing to focus on. And you're going to see that, like I said, a lot more quickly. And, you know, the scale can just really mess with your mind. I always tell people I had a scale once that told me I gained 30 pounds in 1 week, and I knew there was no way that could possibly have happened, but it really made me mad, and I threw out the scale. And you know, I know that that can happen even to a lesser level. I had a client 2 months ago when she started. She lost some, you know, weight in terms of her measurements. She's, I want to say inches, but it was centimeters because she's actually out of the country. But either way, she was telling me, oh, like, you know, her scale was just saying the same thing. But then when we looked at her measurements, there was a difference, right? So sometimes, and she had a digital scale, so digital scales can kind of be more finicky. So you just want to be careful. You know, if you're just weighing yourself, it's really easy to not see results and just give up. So try not to focus on the scale, you know, instead work on the measurements as well. And, you know, it's not bad to weigh yourself, but try to do it once a week versus a lot more often. Okay. So basically, I'll go over in a second to see if you guys have questions, and then I'm just going to go over the other side of things, healthy weight loss, and then we'll go through how to help you figure out what to do on your own to make your own customized plan, right? Because I can give you all these tips, but it's better if you can actually see how it would work for you, because we're all different in what we need. So we went over just these little basic tips why your diet is not a good thing, and then we're looking at healthy weight loss here. So these are just the differences. And remember, the whole problem with diets is that at the end of your diet, you're going to have a decreased metabolism. You're not going to be burning as many calories at rest. But if you have healthy weight loss, you'll be able to increase your metabolism as you're losing weight, and you know, you'll feel a lot better, and you'll be able to have that long-term success versus just, you know, losing a little bit of weight, but maybe having it be, you know, just water, or even worse, protein in the form of your muscle tissue, right? So diets are bad because they're going to decrease your metabolism, and healthy weight loss is good. And I'm going to go over what to do instead. But before I do, I'm just going to pop over and see if there's any questions or if there's any issues. Hopefully you guys can still see the slides. And then we'll hop back over. So if you're watching live, remember, if you stay on the whole time, I'm going to do a giveaway for 2 things. One will be a custom nutrition plan from my meal planning software, which includes food swaps. It's a really awesome tool. So definitely stay on if you can for that. And then also I'm going to do a second giveaway as well for a digital kitchen scale. So you'll have 2, you know, 1 or 2 very awesome resources for you as you're getting started on your healthy weight loss journey. And if you're not able to stay on the whole time, I'm going to be sending you the notes as well. So you'll get, or sending you the replay, so you'll get that as well. And I think I'm going to just hop back over for you guys, the slides. Okay. Oops. All right, so my favorite part, healthy weight loss. Okay, so calories instead. Where are we? Okay. Minimum, so for women, you want to have 1,200 calories a day. Minimum, right? You're probably gonna need more than that. And for men, 1,500 calories a day. And then the tool I'm going to share with you is this tool called Choose My Plate, which is going to help you. You can plug in like what you're doing right now, and it will tell you, I'll talk about it again, I'll actually show you this tool at the end of the presentation, but it'll tell you how many calories you need for your activity level. It'll also break down like how much of different food items you should be getting. So it's a really good resource for you. And then I have here, the better solution is to find out your daily calorie needs. So you could use that tool like Choose My Plate, and there's other tools you could use. If you have a fitness tracker, you could use that, right? There's lots of ways you can figure out how many calories you actually need. And then you're going to reduce that by 250 calories. So that's my main tip, is that 250 calorie reduction. The best way to do it is a combination of diet and exercise, and I'll help you figure out, how, what does 125 calories extra a day of exercise actually look like. We'll look at that in a minute as well. And then, you can kind of look at different foods and figure out how many calories you could cut out, where would you go to cut out 125 calories? What would you eat less of, right? The reason I say that 250 is the best, because they've kind of found this to be what they call the mindless margin, which is if you cut out just that amount or increase your energy expenditure through extra exercise, your body doesn't really notice that difference. So it's a really great, if you're not in a rush to lose weight, which hopefully you really don't want to be anyways, right? Because you want to have this be a long-term solution. If you can just cut out 250, reduce your daily energy use by 250 calories, it's going to be a lot, pretty easy for your body to handle, and not feeling like you're hungry all the time, right? And then the maximum reduction you'd want to do is 500 calories. And again, really you want to try to split that between exercise and diet. And I know I'm a personal trainer, but I'm not just saying that. And we'll talk about that more in a minute as well. But so never go below 1200 if you're a woman. And the best thing to do is to find out what you actually need and then reduce that by 250 to 500 calories. You don't really want to do more than that. Okay, and carbohydrates. Okay, so my slides are just a little bit, here we go, and you guys can see it all, I think, on one slide. Okay, so instead, for carbohydrates, we said the diets try to have you eating too few carbohydrates. Most of us are actually going to need at least 50% of our calories from carbohydrates. If you're active, if you're an athlete, you actually need around 70% of your calories from carbohydrates. Now remember, we're not eating packaged food and processed foods to get those carbohydrates. That's why carbs have gotten the bad name, is from those types of foods. But we do want to be eating fruits and veggies. So when you look at that Choose My Plate tool later, you'll see this, and they have actually, if you go on the website, there's lots of great resources on there, but you'll see a picture of a plate, and half of it is supposed to always be fruits and vegetables, or a combination of them, right? So that's a really great, easy visual way to start, making that transition, seeing if you have half of your plate as fruits and veggies, and getting more of your calories from those items. You're also going to get less calories overall if you're eating fruits and vegetables at your meal versus other things that are higher in fats, right? And then, like we said before, the reason we want to have these carbohydrates is that you prevent your body from breaking down muscle tissue as an alternative food source. So actually, I guess I did put this part here. So basically, the reason why your body is going to break down that muscle tissue is that it needs carbohydrates. And if you think back to biology class, or if you have kids that are taking biology now, I used to be a biology teacher, so this is something I'm very into. But you'll remember that your body uses this thing called glucose, which is the very small molecule of any type of carbohydrate. Most of them are broken down into a small building block of a carbohydrate called glucose, and that's the easiest way for the body to make energy. And the way our body does that is by making a molecule called ATP. So that's the easiest way for our body to get energy, right? But if we don't have that glucose there, which originally comes from a bigger carbohydrate, which would come from things like fruits and vegetables, if we're eating the right carbohydrates, then our body has to get that energy from somewhere. And what it ends up doing is breaking down our muscle tissue as an alternative food source. It's not the best thing for it to do for many reasons, but it's also very damaging to our bodies and to our overall metabolism as well. So your body needs carbohydrates as fuel. It's going to make them into energy to keep you going throughout the day, and that's why you need it. You don't want to break down your muscle tissue. You need that to keep your metabolism up. The other thing I put here is to keep yourself and your friends happy. So the brain actually uses glucose as its primary source of fuel as well. So if you've ever been on a low-carb diet, you might not have been very happy because you were eating things you didn't want to eat, or there's many reasons you might not have been very happy. But a very big scientific reason that you were feeling a little cranky is that the brain actually needs carbohydrates to run properly. So you had that mood issue because of not having enough carbohydrates. So make sure that 50% of your calories, unless you have some specific issue, you're going to need to be getting them from carbohydrates. So they're very important, but diets would have you have a lot less, because most diets are just trying to have you lose that quick weight, and they don't care about what's going to happen to you in the end, right? So carbohydrates are very important. Half of your calories need to be from carbohydrates. Okay, balanced diet. I think I said a lot of this before. I did add here, so you can read over that, but I added that whole foods are important to help you get your fiber, which I did mention. But a lot of times I'll see people having green juice, green smoothies, going on a cleanse. I mean, these things, especially cleanses, depending on what the cleanse exactly is, can be really bad, and I'm sure it's probably obvious. But part of the problem is that when you have these drinks versus getting your foods and getting your fruits and veggies as a whole food, you're not going to get the fiber with them. So remember, fiber is important for keeping us full longer, but it's also important because it helps our digestion. So, if you're not going to be eating your fruits and veggies any other way, it's a great way for you to start getting those fruits and veggies into your diet. But I actually even did a little Tighten and Tone Tuesday video. If you go over to fitarmadillo.com, you can do a little search for green juice or green smoothies. I had a video about, and I go into a lot more detail there, but really, use it as a gateway into getting your fruits and veggies, but don't have that just be the only way that you get them, and try to transition into whole foods if you can, and as you can. Okay, and Choose My Plate will give some more options for how to really balance your diet. Okay, exercise, yay! I bet you didn't think I would talk about exercise. Okay, so obviously I could go on for a long time on this slide, but I'm going to try to keep things simple. So cardio is important. You want to try to get your heart pumping. Keep things simple, keep things small, right? Most of us, and they actually recently did a study where they found that half of women in the US don't get any leisure activity. So most of us can start small, and we're actually going to have a big impact on our health and can start losing weight that way as well. So start with 5 days a week for 30 minutes for that cardio. And one good tip that a lot of us don't realize is that 10 to 15 minutes, a 10 to 15 minute segment is okay. So if you don't have 30 minutes to devote at one time block, you can get up 15 minutes early, do a little walk in the morning, and then at the end of the day when you come home, do a 15-minute walk at the end of the day, and that'll be your 30 minutes. And like I said, walking is fine to get started. So really see if you can look at your calendar and get those 30 minutes in 5 days a week. Strength training, so this, like I said, remember, if you're on that diet, all these things that are wrong with diets are causing you to decrease your metabolism. You're burning less calories even at rest. But exercise and eating and a healthy weight loss plan is going to help you increase your metabolism while you're losing weight. And one of those reasons is you're going to be including things like strength training, and that's going to help you preserve that lean tissue in your body, right? We all want to be lean, mean fighting machines. We want that lean tissue, and you need to strength train in order to do that. You're not going to bulk up. Well, I have a video on that as well, but kind of think about, a newborn baby weighs, almost 10 pounds, right? So it's okay for you to lift a heavier weight. And again, I don't want to get into too much detail here because I'll run over what I want to try to have an hour for you guys today. But a key thing here, muscles burn more calories for you at rest. So again, diets are going to break down your muscles by causing your body to break them down for fuel. But if you strength train, you're going to increase the amount of your body that's that lean tissue, that muscle tissue, and that's going to burn more calories for you at rest. I'm thinking that I didn't go into this in detail on the rest of these slides, so I'm going to say this now, but people who are obese actually burn most of their calories that they're burning are from glucose, from carbohydrates at rest. People that are active burn, if you ever have been to a gym and you have a machine that says fat burn zone versus fit zone, or if you have a fitness tracker that has those two different zones, don't pay attention to those, right? If you're being active, you can be in that fit zone, and you actually want to be in that fit zone because if you're walking, you might still be in that fat burn zone. But the more active you are, you're actually going to have your body start burning more of your calories for you from fat when you're resting as well. So not only are you just going to burn more calories at rest by increasing your strength training and adding to that lean tissue you have in your body, if you are active and exercise, you're if you have always had a goal of making sure you have the greatest percentage on that machine from fat versus from carbohydrates, if you're working out, you're going to have the best percentage of calories from fat actually when you're sleeping, right? So we don't want to be sleeping all day, but being active has a lot of benefits in order to, to change how our bodies are getting rid of fat and how they're working, in addition to just increasing that muscle tissue. And I put some tips there, right? 2 times a week, 1 exercise per major muscle group is a great way to start. Give yourself 48 hours of rest in between days. And flexibility, you're going to increase your range of motion, prevent injuries, decrease stress. Again, we said that stress is something that can cause our body to physiologically cause us to gain weight. So we want to be careful of that. And I think that's all I want to say there for now. Feel free to ask me some questions later. I don't want to go too far into detail there. Okay. And let's see. What to do instead? Food as fuel and healthy reward. So I did talk about this in a different presentation where I gave some examples of snacks. Try to find healthy snacks. So always mix fiber and proteins. Examples of fiber are things like your fruits and veggies. Example of proteins are things like low-fat cheeses, so like cottage cheese, other dairy products, milk, those kind of things. And what else? Nut butter, so peanut butter, almond butter, if you want to mix some of those things with a fruit or vegetable. But yeah, try to get snacks where you have fiber and protein. That's going to help you feel full longer, and it's going to make you crave those not so good for you foods. And that's what you want to do. Make sure food is fuel. Be mindful as you eat. Slow down. Takes the body 20 minutes to really realize what you've eaten. If you're having those snacks, it'll help you kind of regulate things over the day, so you won't be like really, really hungry when you sit down for dinner by having those snacks, and especially if you get that fiber in, help you stay full longer. Instead of food as a reward, find healthy rewards. When we're on a diet, we tend to say like, oh, I'm going to have this cheat day and eat, this snack is my reward for being good. Try to see if you can find some healthy rewards that you can give yourself, and make sure you actually stay true to that and give yourself those rewards, right? Okay, I'm going to make sure I don't want to be too long here. Okay, almost done with my slides. Perfect. Okay, and forget the scale, right? Take measurements. Okay, I did say this here. Waist is narrowest part of your torso, belly button, hip bone, and hips. Depending on if you're male or female, some of those will be more important than others. But if you take all those and just, I try to have my clients do this every 4 weeks, but you could do it every 2 weeks and you'll probably see a difference as well. Scale is okay, just don't check it every day. And this is important, right? If you are doing things a healthy way and you are weighing in, or if you hear about a diet, like a trigger should be if it promises more than this. 1/2 pound to 2 pounds a week is your average for healthy weight loss. If you, in the first week or two, depending on what you were eating before, you might lose more than 2 pounds, right? But after that, if you're starting to lose a lot more weight than that, something's probably wrong with the plan that you're on. It's not going to be long-term weight loss because you're not, doing things the right way. You're messing up your metabolism more than you're helping it to get healthy. So just kind of watch for that. If something claims that it can have you lose more than 2 pounds a week on average, then there's something not right about the plan. You're either just going to lose water weight or, even worse, like I said, lose muscle tissue as well. Okay, so here's my little quiz for you. Make sure you guys can see this. So I'm curious if you can tell me what's wrong with this diet. So I'm going to go over and see, and if you guys have any other questions as well, and then we'll go into, I'll show you the resources, free resources that you can use to help you set up how you would eat healthy, right? So all this information is great, but you want to be able to know how to use it for yourself. So see if you can take a look at these slides. This is from a diet plan that someone I know is using. I'm not very happy about it. But if you look on the left, they're talking about what, is wrong with other diets, conventional diet foods. And then on the right is their diet plan and what they have people do. But I'm telling you that after, what you've learned today, that one on the right is not very good either. So I want you to see if you can figure out what's wrong with that. I'll look to see, your answers after you're looking there. I know there's a little delay, so give you a second or two to get that in. And just want to see if you can figure out the problem with the diet that is shown here. See if I've actually taught you anything today. Remember, I used to be a teacher, so I'm always have to have a little check for whether or not you learned anything. And I'm gonna get something else set up for you guys to check out in a minute. So I'm just gonna go and check to see if you've learned anything. Refresh one more time on what you've got here. And there is more than one issue, I would say, with this diet. Okay, Lydia answered, and she is correct. One of the biggest things, if you look at that diet on the right, is that it has 70% of the meal plans that they're giving you are 70% of the calories are protein. So that's too high, right? Like I said, if you're active, and this is mostly for athletes, but if you're pretty active, you need 70% of your calories from carbohydrates. So that's not good. They have only 20% from healthy carbs, 10% from good fats. So the person I know that's on this plan, I haven't actually asked them if they've lost weight yet, but they told me, oh yeah, they're gonna lose 8 pounds in the first week. And I made a few comments to them, but one of the things is, like we just talked about, it's very low in carbohydrates. So most of that weight that they're gonna lose, if they do follow the plan, and if they lose that weight, is going to be from water weight. And then if they keep on this diet, it's going to be from their body breaking down their own muscle tissue in order to get the nutrients that it needs in order to have that fuel source. They're also going to be cranky. So I did tell them if they were cranky at the end of the month, I would gift them a free month of my meal plan so that they can get back on track. So we'll see how that goes, but that's a big issue. If you look on the left here, and you can see there's a banana as a food that actually helps you build fat. We need to have fruits and vegetables, right? So a lot of things we can talk about here, but just to keep things simple, remember, you can eat fruits, you can eat vegetables. You want half of your plate to be them. You want 50% of your calories to be coming from carbohydrates. And that's kind of our main thing there. All right. So that's the diet's problem. How to eat healthy for you. So I want to let you guys be able to leave by 1:30 if you need to. So I'm going to speed things up a little bit here. But if you're on live, I'm going to give you a little worksheet that will go through this. So this is just kind of my tips for you of what you want to do. And I'm going to go over, and I'll go over these real quick, but then I'm going to hop over to just show you these resources, and then we'll do our giveaway. So quick little workshop, hopefully. Okay, the first step you want to do is figure out how much fuel you actually need. So I'm going to just add a little note here. So the first thing you can do, and all these things are estimates, so you might have to play with it a little bit, but they're a lot more accurate than some of the other things that are out there. You want to use what's called this resting metabolic rate formula. So if you really want to know how much fuel you really need at rest, you would have to have special testing done on your body, but there's also an equation that you can use in order to figure that out. And I'm not going to type up the equation. I'm just going to say Mifflin St. Jeor is the one you want to find. So their equation is the most accurate. So just go into Google, type in Mifflin St. Jeor RMR formula, and you should be able to even just type in your info, and it will tell you you need this many calories in order to keep your body running properly. Okay? And like I said, if you are, oh, I messed this up here. If you stay on the webinar, I'm going to give you this as a handout, so you'll have the actual equation in there. All right. And then that's going to just be your minimal calories you need. So it should be over 1,200 calories. But then all of us are, at least a little bit more active than just sleeping all the time. So there's some factors that you can multiply that number by to get an idea of how much you actually need for what you do during the day. So again, this will be in your notes, but if you'll have different factors you can multiply that number by. So that's going to answer the question, how much fuel you need. If you don't want to use that formula, other things you can do are go to Choose My Plate. So that if you're just trying to get a very basic thing, you don't want to do a lot of math, I'll show you that website in a minute, but that's going to give you, and I'll show you it for myself. It'll tell you how many calories you need, and it's going to ask you for your activities that you do and that kind of stuff. And the other thing I'm going to show you, so like you might not know what factor you need to multiply your resting metabolic rate by in order to get the accurate number. So you can adjust it yourself. Just find that, the very basic number that they give you, how much you need to do nothing all day, and then add in the activities that you are doing now, and that can help you. So I'll show you another resource that even if you don't have something like a Fitbit or a heart rate monitor, I'll give you another resource that'll help you figure that information out. Because sometimes you don't really know, sometimes like the different factors they give you are, okay, are you sedentary, lightly active? And then they'll give examples for how many calories extra you're burning each day, but you might not know what that is, right, if you're not familiar with these things. So that's going to help you there. So step one is just how much fuel do you need? And then if you have a weight loss goal, you're going to adjust what you need to run your body right now by kind of this range here. So the best thing to do is that mindless margin, where you're adjusting it by 250 calories less than what you actually need now. That's gonna let you lose about half a pound a week. But you're not gonna really notice it that much, right? So if you don't wanna get into all these details, just work on portion size first. Probably, I would still love to have you go to Choose My Plate so you can see what a balanced nutrition plan looks like. But you can even start with portion control and you should be able to get those 250 calories less. But remember, better if you're doing a little bit less, so 125 less from food and 125 extra each day from your exercise. And then for more aggressive goals, right, split, you could go down to 500 less than what they say you need. And remember, you're going to do that 50-50 again, 250 less from food, 250 less from your exercise. But just make sure if you put this into a tracker or something, you're not going below 1,200 calories a day for women or 1,500 calories a day for men. So these are like very basic steps, and I'm going to show you the resources, and then we'll be able to do our drawing. So step one, how much fuel do you need? Most accurate way to do it is getting that RMR formula and then adjusting it using various tools. Choose My Plate's the easiest way to do this because you don't have to do anything but type in your info. And remember, if you have a weight loss goal, from there you're going to subtract 250 to 500 calories, and ideally you want to split that up into half of your lesser calorie goal coming from the extra exercise you do and half of it coming from the less food that you're eating, right? All right. Whew, okay, I want to get you guys on your way. So I'm going to just refresh the questions here in case you guys have questions. Oh, I didn't even see. Shannon told me there's no dairy and very low protein. So low protein, so on the, probably, I'm trying to think, because on the diet, they had very high protein. But yeah, let me know if you have questions on that. So I'm going to go back now. Okay, what am I doing? I am going to find the thing I want to show you. Oh, I'm back. Hi. So I'm going to screen share here for you and show you the resources real quick so you can see. Okay, this is my website actually. So if you ever, so one thing I didn't actually mention that is actually good to mention, if you guys go to my website, which is fitarmadillo.com, I actually have a free online fit club. It's very informal. Like I'll go in there on Monday and say, what are your goals for the week? And it's on you to really tell me what they are, right? It's a free group. Try to share just different things in there. But if you want to sign up, you can get in there and, kind of, if it helps you, because a really big thing about any change you want to make in your life, if you want it to be permanent, you really need to have other people that are supporting you. So you might not have that in your regular life, but if you want to join my fit club, it's, like I said, it's free. You can get on the list to join there. So that's a good thing to do. Okay, but we're gonna move on. First thing I wanted you to look at was this thing called Choose My Plate. So this is actually a website from the US government, and it's choosemyplate.gov. When you get here, you are going to type in your age, 29, your sex, so female, I weigh 110, and my height, I'm 5'1", I'm a shrimp, and I get between 30 to 60 minutes of activity a day. So I'm gonna put that in. Okay, let's see what it says. So now it's gonna show me, right, eat these foods, or these amounts for each food group daily. This is a 2,000 calorie food plan based on average needs of someone like you, right? So you'll be able to get this for yourself. Now they do mention, remember, this is a free resource. It's very basic. But what I really love about it is it's going to tell you, like, I need to get 6 ounces of grains a day. Like, that's what someone that's my profile would need. I should have 2.5 cups of vegetables. I should have 2 cups of fruits. I should have 3 cups of dairy and 5.5 ounces of protein foods. And then I can click on any of these tips here. And I'm not going to go over this all now because I want to let you guys see the other resources. But really good, like, you can go here and print a PDF. You can get a tracking worksheet. Lots of awesome resources that are all free for you here. They have resources for moms, for preschool kids, right? Lots of really great free tools here that are going to help you out. And it's going to give you, like, I didn't have to do any math in order to get this info. I just had to tell them what I was doing. Now, obviously, on days when I'm doing 30 minutes of activity versus days I'm doing 60 minutes of activity, there's going to be a difference. So, you know, this is a good place to start. And then if you want to get more detailed and kind of see what's going on for your week and how things are going, I can show you the other tools as well that'll help you out. So actually, let me just do that real quick. I'm going to type in, so like I said, if you want to get more specific, Mifflin-St. Jeor is going to be the equation you want. And so you can actually use this one. This is Scientific Psychic. I've used this one before. They have some interesting things on here, but the equation is correct. So this is the equation you'd want to use, and this is just going to get you how many calories you need just to run your body, very basic. Even if you have little or no exercise, you're going to want to multiply the number that you get for yourself by 1.2, but then there's other factors here that you can multiply by. I would not try this because I haven't tried it myself, but this is calorie restriction calculator. Try not to try that because I think that it might give you advice. And like I said, if it starts going below 1,200 calories, we're going to be very careful. So this website I would just use to get the equation, but you'll get a copy of this if you're still on live. And then here are some options here. Now the issue here, right, this is great. They're going to tell you the Mifflin-St. Jeor equation for your resting metabolic rate. And they give you some adjustments, but maybe you don't know how many calories you actually burn each day, right? So like, how much is that? And that's the other tool I'm going to share with you is this interesting lady here, but primusweb.com/fitnesspartner is going to give you this website here, and we're going to go to activity calorie calculator. So you'll be able to figure out how many calories different activities burn for you. So I'm going to type in my weight, and I'm just going to look at 1 minute, and I'm going to look at, so here you can see there's all different activities. It's going to tell me what my body burns in 1 minute. So I can start to make some choices or start to decide, like, okay, I actually, you know, I do 30 minutes of maybe bicycling a day, so I burn X amount of calories from that. Make sure you do adjust it for what your body burns in 1 minute at rest, right? So like you would have a general baseline anyways, and then doing these extra activities is going to increase your metabolic rate. So I'd have to, so 0.7, I burn 0.7 calories even when I'm sleeping. So I'd have to adjust my bicycling is going to be an extra 5.9 calories for every minute that I'm biking. So if I did that math right, hopefully, right? So just keep that in mind. You'll have to adjust it for what your body does when you're really at rest. But see if you can find activities that you're interested in that are going your metabolism. This is a good tool to help you figure out how you're going to get in those extra 125 calories a day to help you lose weight. And also notice, I mean, this is like good news or bad news, that home and daily life activities can also, you know, cleaning can also be exercise, which I don't really like admitting, but it's true. So it just has a lot of great things that you can look at. And you don't need to have anything fancy to get this information, right? So really quick to review. The quick and easy way to do this is to go to Choose My Plate and get a general calorie food plan or food pattern here, right? For your specific, you know, your age, your weight, your height, and your gender, and then it's going to give you a breakdown of where those calories should be coming from. They have, like, you can go around and plan this all day. I'm going to keep it simple for you guys today, but that's what I got. Now, keep in mind, this is just very simple. food plan. So if you want, and it's very, remember there's that range there, 30 to 60 minutes of activity. What does that really mean? So if you want to get more specific, start by using the Mifflin-St. Jeor equation for your basic calorie requirements even at rest. And then once you get that, you're gonna adjust it by multiplying it by one of these values. Or, so if you don't know what this calorie amount would be, you can go to this tool, the Primus Web Fitness Partner, or you could, to find out what 590 calories is, like, are you actually doing that or not? And then if you're trying to just figure out, once you get all that information, the next step is, once you know how much you actually need, you'll start to adjust that for how much weight you want to lose. So, getting rid of a total of 250 to a total of 500 calories a day through a combination of what you're eating and also your exercise. And so this is a good source to figure out just different calories of what you would burn from just different activities. All right, so those are your resources there. I'm gonna pop back and look at your questions, and then I'm gonna show you guys. So if you need to leave, feel free to leave. I know we're at the hour mark here. I'll probably be on for another 10 minutes max. So what I'm gonna do next is go through, whoops, I do not wanna be doing that. I don't know why it's going so crazy. The next thing I wanna do for you is go through, show you what giveaway I'm doing in terms of the nutrition planning software. And then I'll do the drawing for your digital kitchen scale. And then finally, I will let you know about your free gift. So if you have to leave, it's fine. I'm gonna give you the code and everything. Anyways, but hopefully you can stay on and a little bit longer, like 10 minutes max. All right, so what I'm gonna give away for someone that stays on is a custom nutrition plan. So if you go on my website to nutrition, so this is actually where I had the Ditch Your Diet the workshop that we did today. You could sign up there, and there's actually a special. I'll talk about that at the end, but you can actually get a custom plan for staying on. So that's gonna be one of the gifts. But let me just show you what those are so you can see like what you'd want to win anyways. So here's the nutrition. Okay, so remember, I'm all about, like, I don't want you to have to buy bars, juices, supplements. I want you to be able to do things with real foods, right? That meet your preferences. So what's really cool about my nutrition planning software, and if I'm gonna go over, I'll show it to you real quick, but you get your personalized daily calorie recommendations. So what you would get from Choose My Plate, but it's gonna be very specific to you. So you don't have to do all the extra work to figure that out. Then it's gonna break that down into the amounts for carbs, proteins, and fats. So you'll see that. So you could start to apply that to, like, let's say you want to try out the nutrition plan for a week, but then you want to use your fitness tracker to see what you're doing. This way you would know what you actually need to eat in terms of calories and where those calories should be coming from. You'd get meal plans for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and some snacks. And it also includes meal swapping. So you can, and I'm going to show you this feature in a second, but you'll get your plan, but you can swap out items you don't like. So all these plans are created using software that's made by registered dietitians. So they're the real deal, right? And you'll be able to go in there, and they're gonna give you options that are actually still gonna fit that nutrient profile of the food you didn't want to eat. And you'll get some other things here. You get your shopping list, recipes, portion guide, right? So I'm gonna go over this real quick with you, but if you need to go back and look at it again, I have a little video overview of what you get in each plan. I have two main options, right? I have just the regular plan, and then I do have, it's the better version of a fitness tracker where you get everything set up for you, and it's gonna highlight any deficiencies that you're having in your plan when you're just logging your food. So some of my clients travel a lot for work. They can't eat on the exact meal plan, but this way they're able to eat in the way we've talked about, but they can log everything, and we can get to talk about if there's something that's not looking right. So let me just show you the planning software first. So where do I want to go? Okay, I don't want to like give away who I have as clients here. Hang on one second. Oh, my fake client here. Okay, so slow. This is my test, my test client here for you. I think it's loading. While it's loading, I'm going to show you what the meal plan actually looks like so you can see. So, oh, did it load? It might have loaded. It's always really slow when I want to show anyone. Okay, so here you can see, right, you'll get a program, a plan for each day, so the 7-day meal plan. And then what you can do here is you can go and varies, right? Any item that has this little swap feature will let you change that food item. So I'm going to click on here, eligible for a swap. And so if I don't like blueberries, I can see what are some other options I'd want to have. So it has 127 options. It gives me a warning because, you know, if you're on like a lactose-free plan and then you change out something and you might pick a lactose item, right? But we're not going to worry about that for now. So here I have, like I had the blueberry, maybe I want to have apples or artichokes or pears, right? So this gives me the power to make my meal plan fit what I actually want to do. So you'll be able to have a plan for you. You'll know exactly what to do, but you can still have some room to be a little bit of a picky eater and eat things that you want to eat and still be able to reach your goals. So they just recently added this feature, which I'm really glad they did that, because now, you know, I can give these to my clients and I know they'll actually be able to use them. Instead, I actually did. You get that swapping feature is huge. Like that's why I love these plans, because not only do you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing, but you have that freedom. Like I know I'm a little bit of a control freak, so I like giving my clients, you know, what I would want, which would be the freedom to change things around as well. So I'm going to just share with you here. So here's this. Once you get your plan, you actually can print this out. So if you made changes, you'd have everything you need for each day. So you can see here, like remember we talked about most. So here's a meal where there's 50% of the carbs, right, are the calories, 30% protein, 21% fat. So you can see that these plans meet what I'm telling you want to do. When you go down, let's see. So you get every single day based on what you want. Oops. Okay. And then you'll get some recipes too. So if you want to go and look at my website this week, so at Fit Armadillo, I do on fitarmadillo.com. If you click on the blog, I have 2 weekly blogs. I do Tighten and Tone Tuesday with fitness tips, and then I do What's for Dinner Wednesday, where I share healthy recipes. So there's actually one of my clients was telling me how she loves recipes, and you know, that's like her favorite part of getting the meal plan each week, and they're easy. And I actually share with you guys one of the recipes, which is for crab ceviche. So I said on there that pita bread's optional. That's because I try to just give you the entree option of the meal. But if you want to make sure you have like some bread with that, because otherwise it's mostly protein, right? So you can see a sample of what an easy recipe would be. What I also love, so I love the fact that you can swap things out, but I also love that they give you this shopping list. So you can see here, it's going to tell me like what accompaniments do I need. I need to get mayonnaise. I need to get beef. Like here's the beverages I need. Here's the bread that I need, right? So it makes it very easy to go grocery shopping. And what I tell my clients is if you feel like you're not going to pick up the right foods when you go to the store, have someone else, give them someone else your plan. They can go pick it up for you and you'll be good to go, right? So everything's very simple with these plans. And then you get a portion guide. So this is just to help you, like if you don't win my digital kitchen scale, how you can figure out what different portions are actually like, just related to different things that you would encounter in your daily life. So portion guide comes with your plan, your shopping list that will be adjusted based on the swaps that you do. And then you get, usually there's 2 recipes that you get each week. You obviously have more than 2 dinners, but you know, some of them are just very simple. And every single day, your plans. One thing to note, right, it does have like breakfast, snack, lunch at certain times. You don't have to eat at those exact times, but that gives you an idea. So I really love these plans. I would have gone into this in way more detail for you guys, but I want to keep it short for you today since we're in the middle of the day. Ooh, this is fun. Okay. Goodness. All right, I went over into some crazy thing. So I'm going to do a drawing for that. So just make sure if you're on right now, what I want you to do is just type in like your name in that question box to say like, I'm still on live. I want to win a meal plan or a digital kitchen scale. And then I'm gonna put your name into my little drawing box and I will draw for you one of the names. So I'm gonna give you guys some time to just type that in. I know there's gonna be a little bit of a delay from the time I told you that and the time I actually draw. And then I'm just gonna show you what you get as your free gift for hanging out today. So, or a special that I'm doing for you guys for watching the workshop today. So if you go online, and I'll put all this in your email as well, to nutrition. So you could read about my different nutrition plans. You can watch a video that goes into everything a little bit more. But this is the special I have for you guys. So you'll have to type in a password. I think I'm gonna already be logged in. So the password is gonna be no diets. So I think it's capital N, capital D for the diets, and all one word. And I'll put that in for you guys in the email as well. But I'm gonna do a special for those of you that have watched. So even if you can't stay on live, talk to you about what you're getting here. But basically you're gonna get, so my plans are $49 for a week. And remember, that's not just a plan printed out. You get the power to swap things out and change, right? Change different things. So if you have to go to a dietitian, usually you're gonna pay at least $100 if your insurance doesn't cover seeing your dietitian. But if you're just trying to eat healthy, you don't really need that extra, right? You don't need to do that. So for $49, you get that. And remember, you can swap things out. So you could, in theory, if you have, I'll give you 1 week access, you could print out multiple versions of your meal plan so that you have some different options. And even if you don't follow it to a T, it's a great way for you to see, like, what should you personally be doing, give you some more detail, right? I share with you guys some great free resources, but if you want to have everything spelled out for you, this is the best way to do it. And you're still in control of what, you know, some of your options there. So the bonus that I have, so for 10 people that sign up first, is you'll get a one-on-one strategy session with me. So what we'll do is you'll answer a few questions. So once you purchase, so you want to purchase through this page, the special offer page. If you forget to do that and you buy the regular way, you can always email me and remind me that you were on the workshop, and I'll just send you the info that way as well. But head into here, and then once you buy, you'll get a link to my calendar. We'll be able to schedule a 20-minute strategy session with me. So I'll ask you a few questions in that little form where I'll say, you know, like, what are things that you're struggling with in terms of your fitness and healthy eating habits? And you know, anything else I need to know there, I'll ask you a bunch of questions, and then I'll come up with an action plan that's specific to you. So it's gonna help you really put these plans that you're getting, the meal plan access, to the best use for you, right? So well, it'll be very quick, it'll be 20 minutes. So the more info you tell me in your form, the better that I can help you. But we'll kind of go through and really dive into what you can do, right? The best changes that you can make to keep it simple, but to really get your best results, and how you can really leverage the meal planning software that you have purchased instead of just buying it, right? Mostly I have clients that will buy it and then they get confused. So this is a great way for you to learn what to do, have a meal plan that's set up specifically for you, that you could, in theory, right, make more than 1 week worth of meal plans for, and then get to talk to me about your specific questions, specific issues that you might have that you're struggling with, so we can get you on the right track, so that you're not going back to dieting, so that you're learning to eat healthy, and that you have that plan in place for the new year. So, and this is, you get all this for $49. So you get 20 minutes with me one-on-one to chat about what you should be doing, and you also get a week's worth of access to that custom meal swapping. So like I said, you could go in there, every time you change out those swaps, you can print out a PDF version like the one I showed you, and you could go in there and do that, you know, multiple times if you wanted to. So really a great deal for you guys there for hanging out with me today during the middle of the day if you're here stateside, or I did this early for some of my other clients that are not, and fans that are not in the US. So that's the special, getting the 20-minute strategy session with me, in addition to just having that 1 week plan, because I really want you to be set up for success. And then I'm gonna do my drawing. So I'm gonna go, sorry that I'm rambling so much here. I'm gonna go over and then get you guys off of this, and you'll get your replay and all your notes to see who's still on. So let's see. Okay, I have people that want to win. Oh, everyone, I have a bunch of people that I know on here. Okay, so I'm gonna just put you guys into, I have like a little random number generator here. So I'm gonna put you guys in real quick. Well, thanks. I know Shannon personally, and I know Nancy, and I'm glad you all are here. Oh, I'm sharing your screen here. Okay, I'll stop sharing the screen. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing with this live workshop thing. Okay, I'm not gonna share your actual screen. I'll get out of the screen so I don't accidentally share any of your questions that you guys have. So if you have any questions, since we're getting ready to stop, I'll go back. Come back. Okay, awesome. Okay, so here we go. So I'm gonna draw for you guys here. Make sure I have everyone, because like I said, there's always a delay, so. Okay, so we have 2 things to give away. One is the digital kitchen scale, and one is your own personal meal plan. Okay. All right. Bringing this up for you guys. If you have anything lucky you need to like touch before I draw, you can. So first I'll do the digital kitchen scale for you. And the winner would be, here we go, 3, 2, 1. And I have Lydia. So Lydia, I think I have your email because hopefully I emailed you, but if I don't, first of all, congrats. If I don't have it, I won't share your info like I did accidentally there. And I'll just have you hooked up and get you your scale. So congrats for winning the scale. Like I said, portion control is a huge thing, right? If you don't want to make things complicated, just work on making your portions smaller. And a great way to do that is using a scale. And the scale is really great. It's very lightweight. So if you wanted to, you could take it with you wherever you wanted to go. So that's a great prize. And then I have, the next thing is to get a custom nutrition plan. And I'll set up the strategy session with you too. So the winner of this, I'm gonna email you some questions I'll have for you, but I'll also ask you for some times that you can meet with me so that we can, it could just be online or on the phone, but we can talk about how you can actually put this into action so that you're getting results and doing things the best way to help you with what you're going through. Okay, so get ready. Okay, so here I have the next one. And so again, make sure that like if you don't remember putting in your email correctly in the past, so Lydia, I just have your name Lydia, so make sure that I've gotten your email too. And if I don't hear from Lydia, I will do another one and I'll just let you guys know through the email. So let's see who I got here. So this is gonna be for 1 week access to the nutrition planning software. And here we go, 3, 2, 1. So I have Michaela Smith is our winner of the nutrition plan. So congratulations, Michaela, and I have your email there. So as long as it's the email that you check the most often, you'll be getting some questions, and I'll share my calendar with you, and we'll take things from there. So I really appreciate everyone being on. I know we ran a little bit over there, but if you have any questions, I'll hang out a little bit longer. You'll be getting, so everyone, even if you had to walk away, you'll get this as a replay, and I'll try to cut out your email addresses when I switched over by accident. And if you were on live, I'll have a notation that you stayed live, so you'll get a printout of like everything I told you about the different resources that I wanted you to try in order to set up your own healthy weight loss plan. With free resources, I'll give you all those steps in a document so you don't have to go back and watch my workshop in order to find out all those tips. So that'll be awesome too. And then remember, I'm gonna do for 10 people that if you want to sign up for 1 week of access to custom meal planning, we'll get you all set up and you'll get to have an extra 20 minutes to hang out with me, and we'll help you figure out what your biggest frustrations are with weight loss and fitness, and get you set up with a good plan for tackling those and not being frustrated and seeing those long-term results that we really want versus just going on a diet. So I'm gonna pop over, see if you guys have any questions. Let's see. And thank you everyone who stayed to hang out. I'm fairly new to running these workshops, but they are fun. Oh, tomorrow I actually have if you want to get a workout in, I'm going to do it during the day again. So usually I do these at night, but at 10:30 tomorrow, it's probably going to be 45-minute workout or so, because I'll do a warm up and a little cool down and stretching, where it's the work out like a pirate workout. So it's going to be for free. It'll only be live 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. But if you're a client of mine, I will give you a copy to the workout, the full workout, for free. And what else do I want to say about that? Oh, I also did do a video this week that shares all the different pirate workout moves. So if you want to learn them anyways, but you don't have time to watch and you just want to change up your routine, most of them don't even require any extra supplies. So it's a really easy workout that you can add some of those options there. So I'm not seeing any other questions. Everyone wanted to win. So I do see all that. Let's see. Well, I'm probably going to do this again, because it's a very, like I said, one of the things, like, if the most important thing to do when you're starting, if you want to lose weight, is to start by doing what we just did today, looking at what you're doing, like, get realistic, make sure you know what you're actually eating, what you're actually doing for exercise, and then from there, figuring out what you should be doing, and then adjusting it in order to have that healthy, gradual weight loss instead of really fast weight loss that might seem great at the time, right? But in the long term, it's going to just cause more issues, and you're either just losing water weight, or, the worst that would happen is you're going to start to lose that lean tissue, which we need in order to keep our metabolism up, in order to be burning more calories at rest. And like I said, even just walking, so you don't even need, I'm going to tell you this, and maybe I shouldn't, but you don't need a personal trainer to get started with your fitness routine. Most women, especially in the States, are not active at all. So just starting with walking, it's actually going to have a big impact on your overall health, even if you're just doing 30 minutes a day, most days a week, and even if you want to break that up. So I just want to really encourage you to feel empowered and to get out there and try to make some changes there. I'm going to check back one more time to see if we have questions. And I think we are good. So if you come up with a question later on, feel free to hit me up. Remember to check out the website, fitarmadillo.com. See if you're interested in signing up for a meal plan and getting that extra support from me. I'd love to help you out. I'd love to talk to you and help you make those frustrations something that we can put into action and come up with a good plan for you, so that you go into, I know this is the time of year, right, with the new year coming up and seeing friends and family with the holidays. It's very tempting to want to go on a diet, but want to make sure that you get set up the right way for that long-term success. So hope I can help you out there. And thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Congrats to our winners, and I will probably be doing this workshop again live. So if you have any requests for other topics or other good times that are good for watching live so you can win some freebies, let me know, and I'd be happy to think of you guys for that. All right, so have a great rest of the day. Catherine Basu, and I will be seeing you around Fit Armadillo. Hopefully I'll see some of you tomorrow to work out like a pirate with me. Bye, everyone. Have a good rest of the day. Happy almost Friday.